I've said this before and I'll say it again because, as y'all know, hey, I don't really care. I don't give French toast, what mugs think, what I'm saying, when it comes down to uh, when the truth is being put out there by me. Because one thing that we really have a problem with today is people truly hearing from God and people hearing from their doggone ego. And when you hear from your ego, you need to tell people your story, and you need people to tell you, "Oh, girl, you don't you let you doing it, girl, you doing it." Half the people y'all telling you doing it, girl, up in church or wherever they at, they created their situation and they still can't point to themselves. And so, yeah, you always gonna have a feel good or not feel good situation in that matter. And that's why I tell y'all, it's a lot of y'all out here today. Y'all ain't no better than one of them villains. You know how you watch movies, a Superman movie, a Batman movie, and the villain that did all this chaos all movie long. For 2 hours, you don't watch this villain just destroy everything. And then they get put in a situation where they're about to be destroyed. And they know that the superhero, for the most part, is supposed to be somebody that doesn't, vanquish or destroy somebody back. So they're, oh, you supposed to be this, you supposed to, because that's just how the enemy act. That's just how the enemy will try to mess with you, and be the first person talking about you supposed to be a child of God. That's what some of y'all remind me of. A villain that won't mercy when you wouldn't get nobody mercy, and you think God gonna reward you for hurting folk. Well, I'm gonna tell you what's stupid about this right here. Many people, I don't know if you really know the story behind Angela Simmons, but her son's father was deleted. And I'm gonna use that word for the social media algorithm. That little boy's father was deleted, allegedly, by street violence, pew pew violence, and she's standing there holding a pew pew, talking about it's a purse. In what world is that okay to advertise that? But see, y'all never fail me. Because y'all done went straight to the big back and these arms. Make me want to run to the gym. Yeah, that's the major part right there. I don't have this problem, but I'm going to tell you, man, you got some mugs in their 20s and 30s with this. Looking like this. Talking about, I don't need nobody's gym. And that's because they get hyped up by low-level dudes. See, when people want to be gassed up, because I'm going to give y'all a nice little lesson. Everybody that say they talking to God, they talking to their ego. In other words, you in your own head. And get in your own head enough, then you got to have people hype you up. So they use this internet to hype them up. But as soon as they put a picture of something up like this, then they miss a big thing like this that people can scrutinize. And so people, sharing this picture right now, talking about her, but it's her fault because she out here trying to advertise pew pew, which is stupid. And not only does that show that you don't have what it really shows to be walking around like this, is it shows that you don't have no discipline. And any man looking at a woman, you need to absolutely pay attention to if she has the ability to push her fork back, her plate back. Especially if you're a child of the Most High. It's a natural, y'all looking for all these detoxes and all that stuff, fast. And just like some of these vegetables and fruits and stuff like that, I ain't trying to tell you to go vegan, but hey, it's a whole lot of cures and remedies right in these natural things that y'all don't know how to, get in your backyard and sow and harvest if you tried. But if this world just fell apart in a way where you couldn't find what you need in the stores, you'll be in trouble. That's why most of our people are sick, because this is promoted. And so when it all comes down to it, They hide behind different things. These type of bras, they hide behind stuff. They definitely will hide behind a man's children. They know they know in this society they can take a man's children and just hide behind them, because otherwise you wouldn't have nothing to do. You wouldn't have anything to occupy your time, but to get into more trouble, because you still get into trouble even though you got the children. And that's why a lot of mugs ain't raising children or rearing children, as the scriptures say. They're just managing them, for that period of time before the children turn 18 and leave, or whatever they choose to do. See, that is called a parenting season. That never was meant to be forever. And that's why at some point, even in a marriage, you're not supposed to put the children before your family, before your relationship, because they're supposed to leave. That's the circle of life for grown folks. But for some of you, and this is how you expose ego versus God. Number one, it's so easy to know the mind of Yahweh, because it's in his scriptures. It's in his book of marriage, prophecy, history, law. It's in there. His mind is there. And so when he says that you will know them by their fruit, he's telling the truth. With ego, when a female look like this and she's running around holding a man's children hostage because she destroyed everything, made the choice to destroy everything, but she could fill up everybody's church and be on the front pew with that man's children, and that pastor looking and ain't not one time, well, where the daddy at? Oh, the daddy is really serving the Most High. You need to tell that broad to go back where she came from, because just like you can look at her and see she ain't disciplined, then you can look right at the child and see that child ain't disciplined either. And that's why in the off-white man system, the one that y'all make sure all y'all's children go to, he knows that the woman doesn't have anything to teach the child past 3. So past 3, it's time to go to school, because it ain't really nothing else for you to teach them. That's why your child starts to have what y'all call terrible twos. See, your doctor, a really good doctor, can explain what that means and why they call it terrible twos. If you're in God, you know how to counter that quote unquote terrible two mess with teaching, because your job is to help your children navigate their emotions, and no emotions about to come like crazy past 3. And what does a woman really have to teach those children at that point? That's why in the so-called white man system, he set it up for them to go to school from that point and beyond, because they're going to be taught a lot of undisciplined foolishness.